And hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, to steal a little bit from Jeff Fritz there, to everybody who is here at the moment. How has your weekend been? I hope it's been as good as mine. I've been playing with my new barbecue again. We had some amazing pizza last night. I know you're not supposed to say that about your own cooking, but I absolutely adored it. I see us making lots more pizza in the future. Today, I was supposed to be setting up the pool in the back garden too, because the weather's finally starting to get nice here in the Netherlands. But that's not going to happen because at 8 o'clock last night, I kind of decided that now is the time to start oiling the decking that the pool's going to stand on. I don't know why at 8 o'clock last night, I decided now is the time to start oiling the deck that the pool's going to stand on, but it's still a little bit oily to set up a pool. So that's got to be put off by a week, but never mind. Gives me a chance to get some extra goodies for the pool and try and make it a little bit more comfortable. Some nice matting to go underneath it, a nice solar heater so it's not quite freezing when we get into it. That's all to come next week. Now, last week we finished off the Corvette ZR1, which was a lot of fun to get finished. And this week we're going to be picking up something new. But before that, hello to everybody in the chat room. Hey there, Elder, you join me. Awesome. Thank you for coming. And Jess's mum's here too. Hello. So let's have a look at what we're going to be building maybe this week, maybe for the next 2 weeks. Depends how long it's going to take us. And that's going to be this Lego Bonsai Tree. Now, I brought this pretty much as soon as it was released because I love having plants in the house, but I cannot keep plants in the house. If I have them, I think the longest I've managed to keep a plant is about 2 months, and then it died. So I thought I'd go for some Lego plants because I can't kill these ones. It's the most I've got to do is dust it and make sure it stays looking good. I also really wanted the bonsai tree because I love bonsai trees. When I was a teenager, I tried to grow them a couple of times. And pretty much the same as the rest of the plants. It kind of went well for a couple of months. I managed to get some nice shapes going in the plants, and then they died or they stopped growing, or I possibly forgot about them. So, yeah, maybe a real one isn't the thing that I need to do, but I want to see what I can do with a Lego bonsai tree. Now, I've had a look online. This should be buildable in 2 hours, which I'm guessing with the time we're going to be spending doing the sorting as well at the start, means that this is going to be a 2-week build. So let's get it open and see what's on the inside, shall we? We have 878 pieces. So that should be quite an amount. And also see, if you turn it from the front to back, we have the green leaves on the front, but you can also do the pink blossom on the back. And I think it's the pink that I'm going to be doing for this. We still have an amount of blossom in the street, so pink kind of seems like it's gonna work for now. So let's try and open the box without doing too much damage. I hate this bit. I really prefer the Lego boxes that just come with a seal that you can slice through. It feels so wrong to actually damage it. So we have our book with the nice instructions there to show us how we're going to be building this. And then we have all of our bags. And they're numbered. Oh, that's good. That means that if we don't get all the way through, it just means I've not opened all of the bags. So let's have a look. We have a couple of flexible bars here. So we'll see what we use those for. And we have one, two, three, four, 5, 6, going in kind of an anti-clockwise direction. So I'm guessing what we're going to be building here is the plant pot is going to be number 1. And then we're going to be building the wooden trunk. After that, we're going to be filling the base with the soil and the sand. And then we're going to get to make a decision, I guess, between do we do our green leaves and or our blossom? And like I say, we're going to be doing the blossom. And then we're going to build the little wooden table that it stands on. So let's open up the books. I have good quality scissors today. So I'm not working with the ones that weren't that great from last week. So let's see what we have here. So we have a little bit about the Lego Bonsai Master, the art of bonsai. Again, the one tree, two varieties. The different plant elements in the set. Our brick separator, which is cool. Actual instructions on how to use a brick separator. I don't know if I've missed that in other sets, but it's something I've never really seen before. And then, yeah, there we have bag 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, depending on which one you pick, and then bag 6 for the table. Right, shall we get started with bag 1 then? We'll put the other bags to the side and let's see how far we get with this. So we'll stick those on the floor there. We'll try and get it so that we can see it. Ah! We'll make weird noises as we throw Lego across the room. You're used to weird noises by now, right? Put a brick separator to one side, get the scissors out of the way. And let's get some sorting done. So we've got some brown panels, some black planks, which, I'll just drop. That's what, 2 by 12 planks? We've got some of these snot pieces here. So can we line these up a little bit better? Make sure it doesn't disappear out of the picture. Some thin dark grey planks, 1 by 10, I assume. And we've got another one of these snot pieces here. Then we have these 1 by 4 snot pieces, so it's full height, just with the snot on the side. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6. Wow, lots of these. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, these are going to be impossible to get lined up, aren't they? When Jess arrives, I'm going to need to apologize for the quality of my sorting. And we have some shiny pieces, which are going to go around the edge and the side. How many of those do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those. Some rounded pieces. I guess it's the rounded pieces which are going to go around the side, and the black ones are going to go, the straight ones are going to go across the top. That's 5, 10, 15. Lots of these. 20. I know that you said you couldn't hear it last week, but I apologize again in advance if the neighbors rebuilding their house comes through. We're now into week 5, week 6 of them demolishing the house before they move in. I don't know what they've done to the inside, but I must admit, I'm kind of curious. The amount of effort that's gone in there. Four of these grey 1x3s and another one of these snots here. And then we've got this one, which is interesting because this one I would have expected more to have had a cog with it or something. This is something you normally mount a rotating piece on. So let's see what happens here. And our second bag. Oh, I love this color. It matches a brick separator. It's a really beautiful kind of teal. For those of us who are old enough to remember, it looks kind of like the default Windows 95 background. Yay, you can't hear what's going on next door. That's good. Let's hope it stays that way. And notes. Living next to a construction site, oh, it has absolutely not been fun the last few weeks. It's they were nice. They apologized in advance that they were going to do it. But at the same point, it's 5 weeks in and I'm guessing they're getting close to their moving date and they're not finished yet. Because it used to be finished by like 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, and last night at 10:20, they were still hammering away. You don't remember anything of your age. I try and go with that one. I was talking about it with somebody recently. I think it was in the office last week. We were talking about different ages. It was a colleague of mine. He's just quit to go somewhere else. He's got a great new job doing React programming. And I was talking about, bumping into people again after an amount of time. And one of my new colleagues is actually somebody I worked with when I first moved to the Netherlands back in 1999. And my colleague looked at me and went, "Oh, I was 3 then." Yeah, thank you very much. I now know how my ex-boss felt. One of the jobs that I had many years ago, I don't know how I managed to get that job because I was possibly a little bit rude in the job interview. It's we were talking about things relating to time and what we were doing. And the guy interviewing me, who was going to be my manager, happened to say that he'd been working for the company for 27 years. And me, like an idiot, went, "Oh, that's my age." Why was I employed? Thankfully, he kind of smiled and laughed and I got away with it. But I did feel a little bit uncomfortable for a few minutes. think actually it was in the job after that that somebody said the first thing ever that kind of reminded me that I was growing up or growing older. In the coffee room at the start of the day. And this really cool car happened to come into our car park. And someone brought up the subject of cool cars because of it. I thought, for me, the coolest car will forever be Magnum's Ferrari. And this guy that was about 19, 20 at the time turned and looked at me and went, "Ice cream has a Ferrari?" I have never felt so old in my life. And I was a lot younger then than I am now. Okay, so we have everything sorted. We've got an amount to get through. Shall we get started with a building? So the first instruction here is one of those awesome Lego instructions of There we go. Step 1 complete. Let's see what we can do for the rest of the steps. We need to put these little snot bits here underneath our panel so it can build the next one to it. And that's going to form the base of our plant pot, I guess. And then, kind of what I was expecting, we're going to build it up with these 6 pieces here so that we can build things onto the side of our plant pot. So we're going to have one on each side, and we're going to have one running along each corner. So there we go. And then we're going to fill in the gaps that we have with a few of the other pieces. So we need these 4 grey 1x3s, and we need 4 of these white doppias. Yep, and carrying on with the English and Dutch, just going throughout each other. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we put these ones on the outside. That just gives us a nice flat surface to be working with. Then we're going to build up the middle bit where the tree's going to be mounted. So we put our roundy bit in the middle, and then we're just going to put these white bits surrounding it. And then we're going to get another 4 of the white doppias. And I am going to do my very best to make sure I put these doppias in the right place, but I'm rather afraid I'm going to fail. I wonder at what point I'm going to find out if it's right or not. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. So let's put this doppia out of the way. And then we want these 10 bits of snot here. And we want our 4 1x1 inches that we're going to use to fill in the gaps there as well. So we have 1 in the middle on each side. And then we're going to have 1 on each side here. And then we just fill in the gaps and work our way around the box. Two, 3, and then we'll finish it off with the last one. And now we're going to get our 4 1x10 planks, and we're going to get our 4 hinges, and we're going to start to build up the side a little bit. So the planks go across the middle, and then we have a hinge on either side. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Planks across the middle. 1 on each side, and then 1 on each end. I'm going to say, this is quite a nice quick build so far. Good fun. So then we build 24, which would be all of these. Let's move the tires and these tail bits out the way and start to build these up. So, yep. And just work our way around. A little bit of repetitive work doing this. There's like 24 to do, just working our way around, but it's actually really relaxing just to try and build these things around the Lego piece. That's looking really cool. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more sides to go. Helps if you push everything down correctly, Stacey. Oh, this is going to look fantastic in the living room. I'm going to have this on the coffee table in the living room where I've wanted a plant for an age, but like I was saying at the start, I can't have a plant for an age, a real plant, because they don't live long enough. Just got to hope that the cat doesn't decide to play with the Lego. So there's the edging to our pot. Oh, that's quite cool. I'm quite happy with that. We're almost done with bag 1. We're going to put the tops on. We have 2 at each end. And then we're going to do the sides. And it's fun. When I finished building the Corvette last week, I put out a tweet. What should I build next? Should I do the shuttle? Should I do Ecto 1? Should I do the car transporter that I could put the Corvette onto? And then I remembered I had this one sitting there, and it was one that I desperately wanted to get done. I have a Lego problem. I can't remember what sets I have left. Yeah, I think I've missed a piece. I have definitely missed a piece. I've done a Jessica. I really should have done this page first. So let's take these off. Oh well, never mind. Let's put these one on each side. What's life without a few mistakes? Shall we try this again? The other thing I'm hoping is that this is the last week that I use the camera mounted on the side of my monitor. I'm going to try and get a proper camera mount for it next week so that I can actually have a much better view of the desk and a much more stable camera mount. You have to be a little bit careful. If I hit the table too hard, the camera falls off the monitor. That's better. So now we've got our tray ready. It's time to do the feet. And oh, that's such a shame you don't get to see the teal bits. Oh, yummer. Let's build these things up, shall we? So each one of our legs here needs a teal bit on it. And apparently we had one too many. And then we need to put a tire on it. As we found out in last week's stream, Lego, biggest tire manufacturer, but not by weight. 2, 3, 4. That's nice. It's actually got some grip when you stand it up. And these need to go 1 in each corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is bag 1 complete. That's quite a nice little plant pot. I think that's quite cool. Let's move the spare bits off to the side a second so they don't get mixed up. Shall we see what we get done in bag 2? Here we're going to build the tree, and this is where we need these two bendy bits to come into. So we're going to build the tree. We're going to mount it in the middle. Oddly enough, I think these instructions are wrong. I think this picture's wrong. I don't know if you can see it here. This picture has all of the soil and sand and stuff in it. That's bag 3. I want to skip forward to bag 3 now and see whether or not... Hey, look. Bag 3, mix everything up and pour it in. Oh, you've got to like that. It's a set of 800 pieces, but 200 of them are these little doppias. Right, let's get bag 2 up here and see about getting this one built. And try not to pull the microphone out of my ear. I do clear up when I'm done, by the way. I don't just drop all the plastic on the floor and leave it there. Move this to the side for a second and get sorting again. So we have our round base. And then we've got these round tubey bits. I'm guessing 4 of those. Are they going to be the branches coming off the top, are they? Honestly, it looks like some kind of horror hand coming out. You just need a 5th to make a thumb around here. Eek. Couple of arches. Some dark brown plants. 2x6. Couple of dark brown sloping pieces. A couple of smaller arches to complement the big arches. And a seesaw-y thing. 2 seesaw-y things. Never seen one of these before. That's quite cool. Put both of those in there. Some more teal Lego. A nice snot piece that I imagine I'm also not going to get to see when it's finished. Some small branches. Some hinges. How many hinges do we have? 1, 2, 3 hinges. Two by 3s. Oh, 4 hinges. Some snot. Some full height 1x2 browns. Some round shiny pieces. A dark brown 1x2 with a cross hole in the middle. A 2x4 snot. Another one of these brown pieces with a hole in the middle. And another dark brown slopey piece. This is where the sorting becomes a nightmare, because to put anything on, you start knocking everything else out the way. Some circular bits. Diamond bits. A rather large dark brown slopey piece. A 1x10 brown plank. And a 1x6 light brown plank. Some 1x2 dark brown pieces. Corners. Yet another hinge. That's 5 hinges. I am curious as to see what these hinges do. I am really curious to see what these hinges do. some cut pieces, some weird snot. These ones always strike me as really weird. It's snot, but it's snot that you can build both on the back and the front of. Quite cool little bits. Another one of those. Another brown piece with a cross hole in the middle of it. A light brown 2x2 snot piece. Although this one mounts onto something and this one mounts the other way. Let's stick those next to each other. One more slopey piece. That makes 4 in total. And another one of those. See what we've got in the small bag, shall we? So we have a towing hitch, a robot arm. That's interesting. I had not expected to see a robot arm. Another towing hitch. 3 2x2 circles. Couple of sandy brown clips. Couple of devil's horns. Stop sign. I have never seen one like this before. I've seen a shiny piece in that shape, but not that it's curved as well. The only ones I've seen have been flat. See where that one goes. Another 2 towing hitches. Oh no, it's not. One more towing hitch. Another 3 of the. Okay, so we have 5, 6 of these, do we? 7? 8. Sticking next to each other then. Some gold bars. Some brown gold bars. 2 more hinges. A lot of fiddly bits to make up this tree. Some red connecty bits. Another brown bar of gold. Or is that a bar of chocolate? I suppose it might be a bar of chocolate. A chocolate frog. Okay, we're now into the world of Harry Potter. We have a chocolate frog. Couple more stop signs, a grappling hook, one more 1x2 circle, and to finish off the collection, a white 1x2. Let's see what these make, shall we? Let's get the mouse out of the way. Give me a bit more space. So we're going to start with a circle disc, which again is a step all by itself. We got a couple of these and one of our 1x6. Oh, it's not dark brown, it's black. That goes at the back if it connects. And then these sit in front of it, like so. And we get a couple of the chocolate bars, one for each side. You can never just have one chocolate bar, can you? And then we need one of our brown corner pieces and another one of our hooks, which we mount here. And then we're going to stop sign and our last brown hook. This one comes from the other way, but the actual connection's in the same place. And our stop sign just sticks out the back. I'm going to put this piece on the back. The end of the first page. Hello, Jessica! How nice of you to join us. How was your pizza? I hope it came out well and it wasn't too rushed. We've finished bag one. We've made the plant pot for our bonsai tree, and now we're busy making the tree trunk for the bonsai tree. Oh, I'm pleased it came out well. It's you deserve to have a tasty lunch. I've got to say, I'm enjoying the set so far. It's a nice, relaxing build so far. I just kind of hope that the rest of the tree trunk comes the same way, because this, to make a tree trunk, looks a little bit complicated. Okay, let's put our base out of the way a second, and we need to make this rounded piece of the tree trunk here. So you're going to learn from all of my mistakes then, Jess. So we mount this one on the back of this one. We mount our teal snot on the back. Then we get our black snot. That's your plan. I'll try and make as many mistakes as possible so that you can learn loads. And I'm guessing it is so hard to see in this light. I'm guessing there's one of the round circles goes on the back of this to be mounted at the back. So that would be this one here. And then that mounts onto this knot, like so. Nice use of colors. Then we need to get our two biggest archways. And we need another stop sign. I call these a stop sign, by the way, because if you see these, well, in the 80s, you saw these with a little doppler on the front of them, and the Lego policeman held them up to stop the traffic in Lego City. So these mount on here, like so, hanging over the edge. Helps if you mount them the right way, because then they can actually go on. And this sticks out at the front, like so. And then we need to get two of our rounded bits. One of them comes off the tree trunk onto the middle bit. And one of them comes off of the stop sign onto this middle bit, like that. The colors really do not make this easy to see. Then we have to get our two, I don't know, kind of looks like the baskets that you use to put flowers in when you go and get flowers from the garden. And you can imagine flowers being laid across this. I'm going to call these my plant baskets. And these get mounted underneath. One at the front, one at the back, at slightly different heights. So I'm guessing that's going to give us some kind of angle. And then these get mounted on like so. Okay, getting there. Now we're going to build up the side piece in order to hide all of this work here. Quite how it's mounted, I'm not sure. I guess that one we're going to find out. So for this, we need this piece, making sure that you get the right one because you've got two, but they're in different directions. So let's make sure we have the right one. Then we need one of these sloping pieces, another two of these little sloping pieces. We need that one weird piece that I just mentioned when I was sorting them. We need one of these triangle diamond pieces, if I can not destroy the rest of the organization. Oh, there go my devil's horns. A roundy piece. And that's not there. Let's see how this lot goes together. So start with this one. And we mount this so that it goes upwards. We mount this arch next to it. And then we mount this on the side to give it some strength. We're going to mount this here. And that is how we're going to mount it to the base. And I'm missing a piece. Am I missing a piece? This one has to go here. No, I'm not missing a piece. We have one roundy bit to round off the end of this slope, and we have another roundy piece to round off those. And this gets mounted on the base. How does this get mounted on the base? I mounted my chocolate bars wrong. Well, these chocolate bars should be on the front. And now this can get mounted on the back. Yeah, take notes, Jess. I think the hardest part for this bit, it looks more complicated than it is, but the really hard part is it is so hard to read these colors on the instructions. Let me guess, we now do the other side. So we now need the opposite bit that's cut out, another sloping piece, another two of these, our last weird piece, the diamond and the square with the corner eaten out of it, and our last weird snot piece. And they've changed it up for these instructions. Rather than starting with this piece, we're going to start with this piece. So we're going to add those there. Then we're going to mount this. Then we are going to put this bit on. The slope at the front and try not to destroy the rest. Connect the slope to the snot. And then connect the snot to the main structure. And then this one mounts on the other side. So much easier when you have the bits in the right place that you've done earlier. I don't know why, but I'm getting like very futuristic skater boot vibes here with the angle that that's at. Either that or some kind of elven tank. I could see that being an elven tank. Now we get to put that to the side again, and we get to build up a new bit, and we start to use our hinges for the first time. So let's take a hinge, open it up, and under each side of the hinge, we're going to put one of these circles. And then we're going to get 2 more hinges. And these are going to hook up. And if I've done it right, they should make something like that. Then we're going to get 2 of our bits with the hole in, I think. Yep. And our 2 1x2s. And the light brown go on the inside. And the dark brown go on the outside. And this side's still empty. And my tea is getting rather cold. What I could really do with is a hot plate on my desk to keep the tea warm, because I never drink it fast enough. So now we need to get our 2 smaller arches, and we get our last chocolate bar, and we connect these up using the chocolate bar. And these then mount underneath the unused section of the hinge, like so. Then we get 2 towing hitches. We get a dark brown 1x2 at the back, start to give this a little bit of strength. And at the front, we put on the last put 1 piece of snot. And that's now all fairly rigid. Then we need to mount our last towing hitch on top of the dark brown. Our last piece of snot in front of it. And then we get 2 more hinges. And we connect the tops the same way that we connected the bottoms. We finish off one side with the slopey pieces. We put our last round bit on the front, like so. And our last dark brown with the hole in the middle, like so. So I'm guessing we're going to have 1, 2, 3 branches coming off of this at some point. We have a frog sitting on the front here. And we have a slopey bit to the back here. Only that's not going on. Okay, what have I done wrong here? It's better. The frog kind of sits at an angle to the side. Yeah, that'll do. Then we get our connector piece. Put a dark brown 1x2 underneath, and here we have our first devil's horn, which goes downwards like that. And this gets mounted here. So here we have one branch growing down the trunk. And this, in its entirety, gets mounted onto here. Okay, that was a bit of a complex piece. Gotta say, after doing several weeks of Technics, it's nice to be doing normal Lego again. I enjoyed the Technics, but I still enjoy the normal Lego too. So we need our carriage clock, which I'm guessing points down. Just here. And this one goes next to it, like that. Hiding up that teal that we had in the back. Put that to the side a second, and now we get to build something else. We mount this in the middle. The 2x6 dark brown in the 1x8. We mount the 1x6 so that it sticks out on one side, leaving this empty. We mount this on one side, which is odd because it's only mounted on one piece now. You'd think they'd mount it on two. And stick our last corner on top. Like so. And then we mount our last side of it. Helps if you mount it in the right place. So that has to be mounted one back, because otherwise this one doesn't fit on properly. Then we get our last slopey piece and stick that in front of the rounded piece. And we get our last rounded piece. And that gets mounted here. So this is going to make up the back of the tree. And that gets mounted. Aha! See, this bit sticks out. And we've got a hole for it on this side. So that has to mount like that. And that gives us a lot more strength than we had in the backbone of the tree. Phew, now we get to mount our branches. So we're going to get 2, 3 of our big branches. And we're going to get 3 connector bits. And we're going to stick red connector bits into each of them. And we got Eldert. It's really cool to see how it all comes together in the end. It really is. You look at it and it's like, why have they done this? And then all of a sudden, everything just clicks together. I say it multiple times every stream, but seriously, the people who think up this stuff, they are so fantastic. And these get mounted one in each of these. That one goes to the back. This one comes to the front. Chocolate frog needs to go back on here. That's going to ping off every time I touch it, isn't it? And this one mounts to the back, going backwards like so. We get our last gnarly branch. And that one comes here, bending to the side. Now we get the bit that I've kind of been dreading because I know I'm not going to be good at this. We're going to mount our 2 vines on here with a little bit of tidbit of information here. It's the first time that these Lego vine elements have appeared in the reddish brown color. So one comes from this side. One comes from this side. They both come around the tree this way. And they both mount on this bit at the back. So I have one. And then the second one. We've got the vines going around the tree trunk. You know what? I am not sure I've got this right because I can't trace the lines well enough to know which one should go on first and which one should go on second. But I think it's probably good enough, maybe. We'll see. It looks fine. I think that's the main bit. It looks okay. On the bright side, it means that if you want to have different vines, you can have different vines. You can just set it up exactly as you want to do. Everybody's tree can just be that little tiny weeny bit different. So now we're going to use these. And, oh, these aren't branches. These are roots. And the front one mounts in this robot arm. Like so. And it mounts downwards. And that goes on the front here. On this back one, okay, I think this one mounts in that coach light that we put in earlier. And so that one goes like so. Then we have another one here, another little Lego tidbit. These roots that we've just mounted, they were originally used for elephant trunks, which makes them perfect for slurping water. Now we get to mount this in here. Is that it? That's it, which now scares me a little bit because I've got 3 pieces left. I don't mind having 1 or 2 pieces left over, but 3 pieces strikes me as wrong somehow. Let's put them to the side and see whether or not it's something that comes back and bites us. Now the next bag is going to take an absolute age to get through. Because the next bag is where we put the filling of our bowl together. And I love the instructions here. Open up each of the bags and just pour them into the big bag. Fun bit being, 2 of them are already done for us. This says you get 4 bags. We only have 2. So we're going to pour these in. Just do some sound effects there. Get them all mixed up. And then we're just going to pour them around our tree. Hopefully trying not to throw them all over the table. Oh, these are going to get lost. You know these are going to get lost. But they look so cool. I don't know how well that comes across on the video, but in real life, that looks spectacular. Get all different ways up, and it makes such a nice texture for the tree to sit into. It's going to be a nightmare to keep the dust off of it, but it looks cool. Right, let's do our leaves then. So we are going to skip ahead to page 53 because we're going to do the pink one. So we need bag 5. Oh my word, the pink blossom is pink frogs. That is going to be so cool. I've never seen this many pink frogs. And then we have some pink flowers. My son's going to be really happy with this. He adores pink. So let's get all of our white leaves to the side. We'll sort the rest out later. Oh, it really is, isn't it? It's using pink frogs in order to make blossom isn't something that would have ever crossed my mind. And we've got another tidbit here. These are going to be branch connectors. We can see how we're going to build the branch connectors up in a second. And these branch connectors were originally used as bicycle handlebars for the minifix. That's so cool. So has anybody done a green build? Because everybody I've spoken to so far, they've all done the pink blossom. And it does look spectacular. I can see why you'd do it. I kind of wonder whether or not I am actually going to do what I say I'm going to do and flick between the two, or if I'm just going to leave it as the pink one because it looks so spectacular. Time will tell, I guess. So we have a number of 1x2 Technics type blocks with a hole in the middle. 6, in fact. We have some more snot pieces, which I must admit I wasn't expecting for this build. At least not for this part of it. Some sloping pieces to make it look pretty. Couple more towing hitches, and then we have all of these bicycle bars in order to mount everything. And we have our robot arms, of course, to hold everything together still too. Then we have our frogs. I'm going to put the frogs at the back here, because otherwise I see these frogs escaping over the room. And our last bag. Which contains some more of these 2x2 circles. A lot of these 2x2 circles, in fact. Some hooks. 6 hooks. Oh, I cannot organize these neatly. I'm so sorry, Jess. We have our long connecting bars. I guess these are going to stick into the ends of here. And that's going to be how we're going to attach things to the rest of it. These are going to go through 2 of these. We have 3 bars, so this is going to go through each one of those. And then I guess with the snot on this side as well, that's how we're going to start to mount everything onto our tree. Just get these 3 1x2s lined up. And these we'll put next to the frogs and see when we need them. Okay, step 71. Let's make our first blossom leaf. So we need a robot arm and a handlebar. That's so cool. We need a robot arm and our handlebar in order to make blossom branches. Click them together. Get a couple of leaves. Put one on each side. And then we get 2 more leaves. These go the other way around, so they connect together. Like so. You know what? I've mounted these backwards. These should be that way around. On that bottom branch should line up so they make one continuous leaf. Is that right? Yeah. And then we need 8 frogs. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these get mounted. Oh, you know I'm going to put these in the wrong place. So, neighbors started again. 2. And the one on this side looks the other way. Then we need to get 4 flowers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we need 2 more chocolate frogs. 2 more strawberry frogs. Frogs? Frogs. And we're going to mount 1 at the end of each branch. Where do our last chocolate frog, pink frogs go? They go in the middle like this. Oh, that looks spectacular. That looks so cool. Where does this get mounted? This gets mounted on our last sewing hitch that we had here. Kind of something like that. Now we need to make 3 branches that we put on. So let's 1, 2, 3. We need 3 of these, and they mount underneath them. 1, 2, 3. More cold tea. Milky iced tea, delicious. Then on each side of these, we have a grappling hook. That goes front to back. And I've missed a step, but I'm going to come back to the step that I've missed in a second. Front to back. And then, as I kind of guessed, we're going to put this through the middle, and that's how they're going to connect to the tree. Then we get our 3 pieces of snot. And the snot hangs over the end and covers up the end piece. If I can possibly mount it the right way, because, you know, who knows. And then we put the dark brown 1x2 across the front. We're getting there. And now we mount the towing hitch on the front of each of them. 1, 2, 3. We finish the top off with the roundy bit. 2, 3. And we finish the back off. 1, 2, 3. Now we get to build lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of leaves. So for each tree, we need 3. So that's 9 in total. But I don't see. Have I missed the other arms? I have missed the other arms. The other arms come on here like this around the front. So this is why it's really important to read all of the instructions and not miss ones out, because otherwise you end up with bits left over and think, well, when am I actually supposed to connect those? So let's move those out to the side. And let's build these one at a time until we've just got all of them. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to mount. Okay, and these are front and back. This is slightly different to the last one. These ones go front and backwards. Then this one sticks out to one side. And this one sticks out to the other side. Guessing something like that. They don't actually connect this time, do they? Ta-da! And then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 frogs again. 4, 8. And we need 4 flowers. 6, 7, 9. I missed a frog. Have I miscounted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 10 frogs. You know what? I'm not going to do these in order. I'm just going to build them all up in steps. This is where a friend of mine that I know would be really not enjoying himself. He hates all of these repetitive bits. I don't mind them too much. As long as I can actually do them and it's not annoying me, I actually find them kind of calming just to do each one of these steps. What about you all? Do you like the calming, repetitive bits, or is it just an annoyance when you have to do the same thing over and over? One good thing about repetitive is once you've done one or two, you can almost go on autopilot. It's almost as good as doing the sorting for the whole meditation. Until you realize you've made a mistake on all of them and you've got to go back and start again. Then it gets slightly less fun. But so far, I think this is going okay. How many have we got? We need 12 of these. We need 9 of these. 3 by 3 is 9, not 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3 more to go. Well, that's doable. Mind you, I've got to say, mounting these leaves on the branch is very arthritis aggravating. I can feel the pain building. I think it's going to be a paracetamol afternoon for me. Last one. I thought I didn't have enough white flowers there. Thankfully, it was just lost. Right, let's start mounting frogs. That sounds so bad. So we've got one frog kind of looking that way. We have 2 frogs on this side. staring out this way. One on this and one on this. I guess they're kind of mirrored, are they? Two here. Yeah, they're definitely mirrored. One in the middle. And one over here. Then we put the plant at the other flower at the edge of each of them again. Two, three, four. Right. There's one of 9. If this wasn't a live stream, this would be the point where I went into time lapse. But it is a live stream, so I'm afraid you just got to put up with real time. 1, 2, 3. Why have I lost some? I have the idea of putting too many on. Okay, now I'm completely lost. How can I have done the first one and then get completely lost on the second one? Two. We need 2 on here. Then we need 1 here. I am not at all sure that I'm doing these ones right. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I forgot to put the flowers on the last one. I guess I better bring it back and put flowers on it. Well, there's 1 branch done. Just another 2 to go. So we need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what does everybody have planned for the coming week? Anything fun? Aside from work. I'm going shopping for pool stuff this week. See whether or not I can find something to make the base of the pool more comfortable, and at the same time protect the pool from the decking that it's going to sit on. And then I'm going to play a jigsaw with a very small garden to figure out how I'm going to fit a pool and the garden furniture in there so that I can still work in the garden when I want to. Because I do enjoy working in the garden. But the pool's going to be sitting where the table used to sit. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to be doing with it. 3 conference sessions. Wowzer! That's going to be a busy week, Eldad. I wish you success. That reminds me, I'm hosting the last Amsterdam serverless days meetup before our summer break. We've got an AWS and an Azure talk this week. So that's going to be on Wednesday. And I've got to finish writing a talk for a conference I've got in a week's time about the static web app CLI and trying to get applications up and running using the static web app CLI. It's a lot of fun trying to do it, but it's the first time that I've actually done something this new. Most of the time I give talks on kind of tried and tested technology. And this time I decided to try and do something where I needed to actually do an amount of research myself, which is a little bit scary, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it is very interesting. It's I'm trying to figure out at what point you kind of use it, because there's a way to run your static web app locally without using the CLI if you're only running an API and a front end and everything's in C#. So if you're doing Blazor and C# functions, I'm going to be honest, you can kind of get away with not using the SWA CLI. But at the same point, it does give you a little bit of an advantage. If you publish your Blazor web app and then you try and run the actual static content, then it allows you to see whether or not you've got your routing set up right, because if you've not, your routing doesn't work. And you'll find that when you refresh pages, you'll get 404 errors. So that's kind of the bit I'm going to concentrate on there a little bit. I also want to take a look into the authentication side of it, but I don't know if I'm going to have time in my talk to do that. So I might just mention that that's there, but leave that for somebody else to do some research on. That was one of those talks that I decided I'm too busy. I'm not going to write any new talks. And then somebody said, hey, why don't you apply for a conference? I thought, well, I could do a talk on the SWA CLI. And all of a sudden, I'm writing a new talk when I said I wasn't going to. Some people in the house were not overly happy that I did that. But it's fun. I've actually learned an amount doing it. And that's, it's always great when you can learn something new. Let's face it, it's the fun thing about being in IT. There's always something new. So what conferences and what talks do you have coming up, Elder? I recognize that one. I'm not going to lie, it's something that I have considered. I'm not in consultancy. It's I love being part of the team and working on it from start to finish and building up the relationships inside the team. But at the same point, I do think with the talks that I'm giving, at some point I'm probably going to end up in consultancy and going to new interesting things. I love my job and I love the people I work with. And I don't see myself leaving for a while yet, but I can see myself going into consultancy at some point. And then figuring out whether or not I can use the Lego as a business expense somehow. I don't think so. You're talking about bicep. Ooh, that's the next thing that I need to start looking into. We have such a huge amount of arm templates that we've created, and it all works, and it all works quite well, to be honest. But at the same point, arm templates aren't exactly user-friendly. It'd be nice to actually see whether or not we could make our templates nicer somehow. And also do the whole unit testing that you can do with Bicep. So we can actually test our templates in a way that we really can't do right now. But that's kind of all I know about it. So I've got some more research to do. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Because, I mean, we have 3 teams. We've moved to a DevOps mindset. That's something that I'm kind of trying to foster. But I've mounted this one wrong. Have I? No, I've not. The one thing that we've noticed is people who aren't used to doing resources inside of Azure, they look at the ARM templates and they get really scared really quickly. And it'd be nice to give them something that they can look at and understand with a bit more ease. It's also one of those wonderful ones. I'm sure everyone who has ever worked on a project is going to recognize this. We are really stressed. We're a little bit late. And we don't have time to do it right now. But then if we don't have time to do it right now, when are we going to have time to do it? And the longer we wait, of course, the more that we've got to change from ARM templates into Bicep templates. It's definitely on my radar. Who knows? I want to write a new talk over the summer. I might have a play with Bicep and see whether or not I can write one myself. Which is something that I was really not expecting. When I first got into speaking, one of the things that I kind of assumed before I started is I don't know enough to be a speaker. Who's going to listen to me? And the one thing that I've done since I've been a speaker is I have learned so much just by giving talks about it. So that might be a nice fun project over the summer. Write a talk on Bicep and then actually change a few of my other talks, which currently have manually deployed environments, and actually change them so that they have a proper deploy pipeline, and then move everything into GitHub. Okay, what am I missing? What have I done wrong? This one. The last pink frog. Turn this one round a bit. I wish I had that level of confidence. I think that's such a cool thing to do. Whenever a new interesting technology comes out, put an abstract out for it. And when it gets chosen, then deep dive into it. I do love the idea. Yeah, that could kind of be the downside of it, I suppose. When all three get picked up, suddenly you've got to do three different ones all at the same time. One of these branches is missing flowers. It's this one. And this is it. We're almost at the end of all of our flowers, which is good because I'm kind of in agony. Right, now we get to mount them onto It's interesting because it doesn't actually say how to mount this, so I'm going to assume that we do the two side ones downwards. And then we do this one across the top. And just kind of make, I don't know, something like that. And then we mount that in here, and we try not to destroy everything else. That ain't right. I've not got that right somehow. Something's missing there. We'll come back to that. We'll fix that later. What happens if we go up? Let's try an experiment. One's down, one's up. We'll see which one works out best. I don't know, possibly. Yeah. Do the last one. We'll do this one up, because up seemed to work slightly better than down. I might leave the other one the other way around, just because it looks kind of interesting. After all, blossom does grow at all sorts of different angles, doesn't it? And there we have bag 5. I'm going to switch to my other camera a second. That looks really quite cool. I can be quite happy with that one. Right then, 20 minutes to go. Can we do the last bag in 20 minutes? Can we do a little bit of super quick building? Yeah, it really is so pretty. It is an awesome build. I'm really pleased that I remembered I had this one last night and decided, nope, this is the next one to do. I've been waiting for too long to build this one. Oh, wow. Another cool little piece of information in the book. With 101 frogs available, this is the greatest number of frogs used in any single Lego set. So the set's actually got an amount of firsts and records in it then. So bag 6, let's make our little table that we're going to mount everything on. And get this one finished. Last bit of sorting for the day. Get all of our planks together. That's 2x10s. Another 2x10. Full height 1x8s. How many of those do we have? 3, 4, 5. a load of these ones, and dark brown 1x8s, one stack. I think I know people who can build faster than me. I hope I'm not going too fast for some of the more fiddly bits, and I hope I'm always remembering it to get it into the weird camera angle that I've got from this camera hanging up. But it is such a fun build. I really enjoyed this. I can't believe it's been nearly 2 hours. I think when I've finished here, I might actually go downstairs and carry on with the family build with the family if they're interested. We've still got to finish off our corner garage that we started weeks ago. I may have got told off for it this afternoon. You go upstairs and you build every week, but we've still got to do the family build. And then, seeing as we're all getting vaccinated soon, can actually take a trip to IKEA and buy the bits that I need in order to display it. Which reminds me, I don't know if there's going to be a stream next week or not. Depends how I'm feeling, because next Sunday morning, I get my first shot. We'll see whether or not I can still move my arms. Which is also fun, because I'm kind of scheduled to give a talk the week after that. And if I'm in the middle of a really bad reaction, that's going to be a bit difficult. Yeah, I am super happy that I'm actually getting my my shot. I did a little bit of a complaint on Twitter yesterday because I was supposed to get mine a little bit earlier because of some medical conditions I've got. And yet, the people from my year are actually getting their shots earlier than me because they can take different shots to me. So I don't think I can have the answer one because of some of the medication I'm on. But the people getting the answer shots from my birth year are actually going to end up getting the shots before me, even though I got the letter. You need to get the shot because of your underlying conditions. Such is life. At least it's done. By the end of July, the household's going to be vaccinated, and that's the important thing. So we've got a lot of smooth ones to make this look pretty on top. We have a few of these fences that we need to build up. And then we have a huge amount of these 1x2s with single doppias. And I'm knocking over the bits that I've already sorted. And I'm not going to pick them up because as soon as I start building, I'm only going to knock them over again. But it is annoying me. We have more chocolate bars. I don't think I've ever seen a set with chocolate bars before. It's really cool. I have to admit, I say that sorting the bits is really relaxing and it's like meditation for me. Unless it's full of tiny little bits and it takes an age. Then it's less so. Because right now, I kind of just wish that the sorting was done. but we're getting there. Wow, that's a lot of 1x2s. And they're really useful pieces. Not that I'm ever going to split this setup and use it for anything else, but they are really useful pieces. Right, so we need to build 2 of these things. So that's going to be the frame. One on one side, one on the other. So we need 2 of these planks. We need all of these. And they go. Is it one hanging off of each end? Yeah. Like so. Then we do the same on the other side so that we can join them up. And then finish the ends off with 1x2s. And we need to get, is that the 1x8? Yeah, so we need 2 of these. And that runs down the middle of the back, like so. 1 on each side. And then we got these. You might recognize this shape, not the color, but this shape from the Porsche build. These are the ones that they used in order to make the seats. Only that was in a tan color as opposed to in a wood color. So 1 on each. Then we get the rest of the planks. And we mount these underneath here, making our complete frame. Wow, it's actually going to be quite a sized table then. And then we start to build it up with our last 4 of these and all 4 of our snot for the middle. We put these down the outside. And we put these down the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to cheat here because let's face it, they're going to join up like this, aren't they? Oh, look at that. They join up like that. Next, we need these 4 long branches, but where do they go? Again, the colors make this really hard to read. Oh, they go down the inside, look. They go onto that snot that we mounted. 1, 2, 3, like so. Oh, it's coming together quite nicely. Our first 4 at the top, and we complete the ends. And then we have to mount all of these over. So these are basically going to make the mounting points for the planks. So we need to mount them sideways like this, leaving a 1 doppler gap between each set of 2. Lego makes such a satisfying snap when it comes together. Okay, and there's one side. Let's do the other. Let's not use the chocolate bars though. Let's actually mount the bits we're supposed to be mounting. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And then we have it. The frame made up and those bits in place. And what they've done with this, they've moved the doppias. So the doppias are now in between where the doppias should have been. Let's see what we're going to do next. Yeah, thought we were going to do that. We're going to fill in these gaps using the standard 1x2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again on the other side. I'm going to put the frame out of the way a second, and we're going to start to build all of these slats. So we need to make 13 of them, and I'm just going to assume I need all of these, and I'm going to destroy the rest of my piles as well, because why wouldn't I? So for each one of these bars, we're going to mount these on each side. 2, 3. Isn't 13 an unlucky amount to do? Oh, this has been such a fun build today. And it's going to look fantastic on the coffee table when it's complete. Like I say, right up to the point where I need to dust it for the first time, and then I'm probably going to swear. But until that point, it's going to be fantastic. And then the last one. That took a lot less time than the branches, didn't it? And now we get to mount them onto our cage. Oh, okay. Oh, that's very neat. So not only have they moved the doppias to the middle of where the doppias should have been, they're actually just using it to give half a doppia distance between each of these slats. That's so awesome. Again, seriously, how do they come up with this? So there's our table. Then we get to flip it, and we get to add some structural support. So we're going to add the circles in the middle to join these two planks together. And in the corners, we're going to use these diamond-shaped pieces. And then we're going to mount these on the edge. One in from the edge, one on each corner to give us our feet. And then I wondered how we're going to do this. I thought, I've got all these pieces left over. If I miss something somewhere. So we have the shiny bar on one side, and we have the chocolate bar on the other. And then it mounts with the shiny bar to the side. Like that. One in that corner, one in that corner. And then we're going to do the other side as well. Only this one we reverse, of course. So we mount it this way. This way. And then this should mount in these corners. And you know what? I get the impression that we are done. So let's switch back to my main camera again. So here is our bonsai tree. That is such a cool build. It's Jess, I think you're going to have a lot of fun, and I think you're going to be exceedingly frustrated too. But it is a really cool build, and when it's finished, it just looks so spectacular. And you know, there we have it. Obviously, we can just switch it to be what we want. I might do that in the summer, I might not. We'll see. Oh, that is so cool. The last page of the book, carry on growing. Unlike other art forms, a Lego bonsai tree is never complete, but instead an ongoing dynamic masterpiece. Once you have mastered the first two varieties of Lego bonsai, we hope you'll want to branch out and create your own individual vision of the perfect tree. We've created a gallery to inspire you in your future building. They cannot be built from the bricks in this set. And while all the elements you see here are Lego elements, not all of them are still available in our assortment. So hunt through your old Lego sets and use whatever you can find. And they've got a little gallery here of different sets, and each one of those is just so cool. You got the palm tree on the pirate island. The orange, I don't know what that is, but it's cool. Kind of a bit of a normal looking bonsai tree I see. And then that last one, the alien with the eyeballs, the mouthpieces. I don't know if it's something like Jason and the there was a cartoon in the 80s or 90s. Joyce and the Wheeled Warriors or something like that. And this looks like one of those evil plants that got created accidentally. I absolutely love these. It's yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get around to building any of these. I don't know if I'm going to get around to building any of these, but these are so cool. It is certainly something to think about trying for the future. Oh yeah, I might be hashtag Team Marvel, but something with poison ivy in her plants would be a great one to come up with. Right, I think on that note, it's time to put this in pride of place in the living room downstairs. and to see about maybe building the corner garage a little bit more off stream. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Is it Swedish Mother's Day today? Happy Mother's Day, Jess's mum. It's so confusing that that's on different days around the world. Ah, congratulations. I've not learned that word in Swedish yet, so I'm going to stick with English. Enjoy the rest of Mother's Day then. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will speak to you all maybe next week. I'll put something on Twitter as whether or not I'm feeling up to it or not. I think assume it's going, and we'll see whether or not it happens. Thanks for joining me, and speak to you later. Yeah, bye.